Cristo is a tale of adventures. Dante's is a man who has it all, even a stunning bride Mercedes. However, he is wrongly accused of treason and jailed for life. In prison, he becomes educated and learns of hidden treasure on the island of Monte Cristo. He escapes and finds his way to the island, discovering immense treasure. When Dantes returns, he learns his father died due to grief over his son, and Mercedes moved on and married Fernand Mondego, a rich and powerful man. Dantes changes his reputation to the unstoppable Count of Monte Cristo and sets up revenge for those who framed him, but Mercedes knows the truth. His acts of vengeance include murder and playing upon his enemies' greed. Meanwhile, Dantes also tries to complete one more act of goodness. Dantes wishes to help the brave and honorable. Dantes too ultimately finds happiness when he allows himself to fall in love with the adoring and beautiful Hades. Identifies himself with Dantes and idolizes his freedom and sense of adventure and wants to see his life that way, though it is not. This book is an escape, and love interest Mercedes from the book elicits his budding sexuality. Stephen has an idealized picture of wealth, love, and happiness. Cardinal Newman was an important figure in the religious history of England in the 19th century. He was a leader for the Oxford movement, an influential and controversial group of Anglicans who wished to return to the Church of England many Catholic beliefs and rituals from before the English Reformation. Stephen sees him to have the best prose style. His writings describe the faith movement moving away from a faith stressed by society, as Stephen is moving away from his beliefs.
I confess to Almighty God and to you, my brothers and sisters, that I have greatly sinned in my thoughts and in my words, in what I've done and what I have failed to do.
The Confiteor is a Catholic prayer said at the beginning of Mass, confessing and acknowledging our sinfulness and seeking God's mercy and forgiveness. Stephen recites the Confiteor while he is being bullied.
James Joyce referenced Dante's Divine Comedy, The Inferno, in A Portrait of the Artist as a Young Man, as a way to creatively convey to readers how Father Arnal's vivid depiction of hell in his sermon influenced Stephen Dedalus to turn his life away from the sins of incontinence that have mentally and emotionally troubled him. These signs of incontinence were brought on by Stephen's evident feelings for a girl named Eileen, and even led to Stephen falling into sin. After the sermon, Stephen is reminded of a girl named Emma and begins to feel shameful as he ponders his experiences with the prostitutes. Stephen's guilt and shame of his past sins, along with his grave fear of his eternal destination, leads him to change his immoral ways. These two stories relate in that Dante's Inferno tells a similar story of Dante's journey into hell, walking away from his morals and values and choosing to let his faith turn his life back around.
Stephen and Heron fight over which poet they think is the best poet. Stephen thinks Lord Byron is the best poet, but Heron disagrees. Stephen probably admires Lord Byron's work so much because he feels connected to the characters Byron creates. One of Lord Byron's characters is described as defiant, melancholy, and haunted by secret guilt, a description that matches Stephen's personality as well. Tennyson's poems embodied his age and time period, while Lord Byron's were considered sinful and immoral. Joyce alluded to these poets to exemplify the internal conflict Stephen was dealing with, as he felt different than the rest of the world. Stephen finds himself identifying more with Lord Byron's work than Tennyson's work, showing Stephen's unmistakable differences from the society he lived in.